I'm Morgan Freeman, narrator of the upcoming IMAX documentary, Born to be Wild. Join me on the journey of a lifetime to meet orphaned orangutans and elephants. We will follow the paths of two extraordinary women who have dedicated their lives to rescuing, raising, and ultimately releasing these animals back to the wild.
Come on, everybody. Come on, everybody. Let's enjoy the day.
Born to be Wild is not a wildlife film. It's a film that stars wild animals, but it's about two women working to help these elephants and orangutan orphans get back to the wild.
Come on, everybody, let the journey begin. Now let's go. Let's enjoy the day.
The elephant story is set in a couple parts of Kenya, in Nairobi National Park and Tsavo National Park.
Dame Daphne Sheldrick, spent 60 years raising these orphan elephants and giving her heart to these elephants.
Before Daphne, nobody had ever successfully raised an infant elephant.
I think everyone should be aware of the natural world and do what they can to protect and preserve it.
Daphne's husband, David, started what became the biggest national park in Kenya. That place is the shelter for the largest wild herds of elephant that are left in Kenya.
When David first went there wasn't even a road. There wasn't anything, so he built that park literally from nothing.
The orangutan story is set on the island of Borneo in Indonesia. It's very, very remote. Dr. Bri Galtakas is probably the world's foremost expert on orangutans.
When I went into the field almost 40 years ago, there were no roads, no telephones, there was virtually no electricity.
You see what it is that she had to deal with, with the swamps, the leeches, the insects, the heat, the humidity. I mean, this is one of the most uncompromising places that I've ever been. And she came here and pioneered this whole process of how you get these young orangutans back into the forest.
Both orangutans and elephants, they're killed and they leave babies behind. Both of these ladies have made it their lives' work to live for these orphans. And they have incredible organizations that they've set up to do this.
Daphne Sheldrick is the first person to ever successfully raise an infant elephant.
You know, they won't live unless they're happy. So we've got to keep them as happy as possible, and that's by giving them what they want. Little dust bars, entertaining them, playing with them, football, just like human children.
The orangutans at the care center range from probably 2 weeks old to 7 or 8 years old. They go through their infancy, the toddler stage. They really go through every stage of development that we see in human children.
We have caregivers. What they do is they take the orangutans into the forest every day and let the orangutans teach each other.
After about 2 years, the little orphan elephants move out to this facility in Tsavo National Park. And there they're surrounded by wild elephants.
It's like first day at boarding school.
These elephants take over from the people. They take them to water holes, they show them where to eat, and at the end of the day, the elephants come back because they're still milk dependent. It's a very gradual process. That's just amazing to be around.
You know, raising the elephants is a roller coaster. This is a 50-year learning curve. You don't just give up.
Born to be Wild is an ideal story to tell in IMAX 3D. Not just see it, but really be there in a way that you can't in another format.
IMAX 3D, you're right there. You're inside the picture.
And this is why I think IMAX 3D films have a better chance of getting the genteelness and the personality. You can see it better. It has to reach you at an emotional level, not just an intellectual level.
Logistically, this film was incredibly complicated. We had a massive amount of equipment that we had to move halfway around the world.
We've assembled one of the best crews in the world for this kind of film, because when you see the equipment we're working with, it's way beyond what's done in any other documentary.
For this film, we did indeed build our first IMAX digital 3D camera. We've been able to capture things that you could never get on film.
There's scenes that happen in a fast way. You can't do take two. You have to be there and ready. We're making a film about animals that are on their way back to the wild. The unpredictable happens. I mean, they do things you don't expect. They don't go places you think they're going to go. They don't behave the way you think they're always going to behave. Things just kind of go out of control.
Both Rudy Caldecoss and Daphne Sheldrick are huge inspirations. In the truest sense, they're heroes of the earth.
I really love orangutans, and I think we have a responsibility to make sure they don't go extinct.
I think people will see this film and they'll get it. They'll get what's going on, and they'll want to help whatever way they can.
Every single species contributes towards the well-being of the planet as a whole. It's the only place we have, and we've got to take care of it.
If we don't know about these other creatures, the struggle that they have to make it in this world, we just blithely go along doing what we're doing. It's not just something to talk about, it's for real.